Welcome to
Car Rides with Little Miss Gigi.
a place where girls like you will be inspired by godly stories.
I'm so excited to go to the pet store, aren't you?
I actually am really excited, Valentina. What about you, Esther?
Yes, I like animals. I love pets, and I'm really excited that Valentina gets to choose her first pet today.
I can't wait. So, Valentina, I just can't wait to find out. What have you chosen to get?
I don't really know. Maybe a turtle? Actually, no. Now I know. I want a white Persian cat. They're so cute. I want a white one and call it Snowy.
Oh, that's so cute.
And here's the thing I really wanted to have. Big blue eyes. It's gonna be so cute, like a dog I have.
Actually, Valentina, I have 3 cat stories that I can tell you, and then you can decide if you really want a cat.
Oh, wait, sorry. Let me interrupt for just a moment because I have some amazing cat facts in my glitter box. Let's go and have a look. In my glitter box today, girls, I have 8 amazing cat facts that I didn't even know about and I got to learn. But I'm only going to read 3, and you need to go hunting for the other facts in the blog under the cat stories. But don't worry, the link will be below. Alright, one of our facts we have is, did you know that newborn kittens are deaf and their eyes are shut? They must use their sense of smell and touch to find their way to their mother. Isn't that amazing? I didn't know that. They can't hear. Alright, another interesting fact. You should never feed your kitten cow's milk because they can actually get very sick. Another fact, and the last one I'm sharing today, is that for the first 7 to 10 days after birth, a newborn kitten will spend all day either sleeping or eating. Gee, that's kind of maybe boring, isn't it? But then they get playful, I'm sure. Anyway, if you want to know more facts, make sure you go to the blog, the link is below, and we have to say a huge thank you to my friend Melissa McKay for sharing these wonderful facts with us today. Thanks, Melissa. Anyway, that's all from me today. Bye.
Wow, those facts were so interesting. I never knew you couldn't feed your cat cow's milk.
I'm really looking forward to seeing all the cat pictures on the blog. They are so beautiful, and then you can read all the other facts on the blog because they're really interesting.
I just can't wait to pick my cat. Come on, let's go, Puppy Esther. I'm so wanting to pick out my cat, please.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go and get my car keys.
I'm ready too.
All right, and on the way, girls, I'm going to tell you the story of those 3 cats. Well, they're 3 different stories about 3 different cats.
I love stories.
They're very exciting. I can't wait to share it. Okay, come on, let's go to the car.
Woohoo!
God gave me Princess. When Jorja was 6 years old, she sent us a little letter on how God gave her her kitten. Jorja wanted to have a kitten and she prayed for 2 whole years. Her dad wasn't sure if they should have kittens at home because he was worried that the kitten wouldn't get along with the 2 Labradors and their 5 chickens. But God provided a kitten that not only got along with the chooks, but the Labradors took her well, and it was not uncommon to find them lovingly licking Princess, the kitten. So, this is Jorja's letter.
I really wanted a kitten, but my dad said no. So I prayed for God to give me a kitten. And when I asked Dad again, he didn't say no. He said,
Okay, but only if it's an old cat.
I prayed again, and then I asked Dad if I could please have a kitten. And this time, Dad said, Okay, you can only have a male kitten, and it has to be given to you for free. I prayed that Mum could find a free kitten so I could have a kitten of my very own. One day, God answered my prayer. My mum found free kittens advertised on Gumtree. When we went to have a look at them, we prayed that God would help us find the kitten we were to pick. When we arrived to see them, there was only one kitten to pick from, and it was a female kitten. Mum asked Dad if we could have it, and my dad said yes. We named her Princess. God is my very best friend, and I love my kitten Princess very, very much.
Chino the Cat, written by Melissa McKay. Proverbs 12:10 says, "The righteous care for the needs of their animals." Once there was a young girl called Tamasine who asked her mother if she could adopt an abandoned female kitten. Tamasine didn't know how old this kitten was, but she guessed it was around 3 weeks old. After her mother agreed, they went to the pet shop to purchase special kitten formula and a feeding bottle. Every 3 or 4 hours, Tamasine fed little Chino warm milk, and Chino eagerly drank every drop. Tamasine loved that little kitten. She would hug it, play with it, and she let it sleep in a very warm bed that she had made. Tamasine would also happily clean up its kitty litter. With every kind deed, the little kitten loved Tamasine more and more. As time passed, little Chino was not so little anymore, and she was about to have a family of her very own. One day, very close to the day she was to have her litter, she went missing. As you can imagine, the family was so very distressed and prayed that God would keep Chino safe and help them find her. On the property where Tamasine lived, it was not uncommon for snakes or large birds to carry away little kittens. After spending some time looking, God answered their prayer. Chino was meowing at the back door. In her mouth was her prized possession, her first little kitten. When led inside, she headed straight to Tamasine's bedroom and into the bottom of her wardrobe, a very safe and warm place to raise her kittens. Chino then left the house and returned with yet another kitten and then another. There were 3 little kittens in her litter. The newborn kittens had been licked clean by Chino. Each of the tiny, fragile kittens only weighed between 100 and 150 grams. Their little eyes had not yet opened. They could not keep their heads up, and they could hardly crawl. They just wanted to stay close to their mother, for she was so warm. Chino made sure each kitten had a nipple to suck milk, and soon all were sound asleep on the warm blanket Tamasine had put in the bottom of her wardrobe. Lulu Runs Away, written by Esther. Lulu stretched lazily on her soft, velvet, fluffy purple cushion and purred. She was bored. She gazed around and meowed unhappily. She had lived in the same mint and cream-coloured mansion always. She had slid down the translucent marble floors many times. She had eaten gourmet food from the same porcelain floral dish all her life. She had been loved and pampered by her owner, Lady Cordelia Jane Periwinkle, since she was a tiny, fluffy kitten. Life was predictable. "Oh, my precious Lulu, how are you, my darling?" Perfectly soft hands picked her up and stroked her spotless white fur. Lulu scrunched up her little face and stared at her owner. Lady Cordelia did love her, and Lulu loved her back. But she was sick of her monotonous, pampered life. Lulu growled and swatted wildly, telling her owner everything she wanted changed. But Lady Cordelia didn't understand cat. "Lulu, you are a little feisty today, darling. I will let you be." Lady Cordelia placed her back on the velvet cushion and walked away. The doorbell rang. Lulu's ears perked up. If the doorbell rang, then someone would open the door. If the door was open, she could finally go on an adventure. Would she dare? She glared at her surroundings and hissed. Yes, she would. Slowly and silently, Lulu made her way to the front door. Winston, the butler, was talking to the delivery man and signing some papers. He didn't see her. Lulu slipped past him and fled around the corner of the house. The front iron gates were wide open, but the organic fruit delivery truck was in the way. Suddenly, Lulu had a brilliant idea. She would get in the truck and get away faster. Swiftly, Lulu crept up the ramp and vanished between some large fruit and vegetable crates. No one would see her there. After what seemed forever, the truck finally roared out of the front gate. Freedom at last! The truck driver drove and drove and drove. Lulu started getting worried. She needed to get out of that truck pronto. She made a plan. As soon as the truck came to a stop and the man had to do his next delivery, she would jump out. Finally, after what seemed like forever, the big back doors of the truck swung open. Now was her chance. When the delivery man was busy, Lulu leaped off the truck and ran. She didn't look back. Lulu wasn't used to doing any sort of high activity. She couldn't go on, but she couldn't stop either. Soft droplets of rain were beginning to fall. Lulu didn't want to get wet, so she kept running. She hissed and whisked until she came to the edge of town. Lulu looked around. The houses were small, dark, dirty, smelly, and she loved it. In the distance, a dog barked. Lulu shuddered. She didn't like dogs. The drizzle of rain had stopped, but the sky was darkening rapidly. It looked like a storm was brewing in the distance. Lulu shivered. She didn't like storms. "Heya, princess!" A rough voice interrupted her thoughts. Lulu jumped. Was it a dog? She closed her eyes and turned around slowly. She opened one eye and peered out. To her surprise and delight, it was another cat. "Hello," she said shyly. The Devon Rex circled around Lulu and looked her up and down. "You're not from around here." Lulu nodded. "What happened, princess? Cat got your tongue?" A soft, husky voice laughed behind her. Lulu spun around and gasped. A striking white Siamese glared at her with cold blue eyes. Lulu swallowed. "Cut it out, Snow," a deep voice said with authority. Lulu noticed that Snow stopped when the chocolate brown Havana cat with green eyes told her off. "The name's Midnight," he said, standing in front of Lulu. "This is Rocky, and that's Snow." "I'm Lulu." Snow smirked. Where are you from, Lulu?" Midnight asked. "I'm from Hampton Bay." Rocky whistled. "You're a long way from home. What are you doing in Westwoods anyway?" Lulu told them the whole story of how she had run away. Snow rolled her eyes and laid on the ground. "I used to be rich once," she said, "but I got tired of that hateful life, so I ran away." Snow hissed. "You never went back?" Lulu asked. "Nah, I have never seen Lady Anastasia again." Snow yawned, stretched lazily, and licked her fur. Lulu frowned. She wasn't sure if she was ready to never see Lady Cordelia again. "Join my gang," Midnight said. "You can't be alone. Too many dogs." "Yes, please." Lulu didn't like dogs. "Hey, your collar is cool," Rocket said, getting close to see Lulu's neck. "It's called a pendant, dope," Snow glared. "I had one like that once, engraved with my owner's name and all." "Mine is engraved too," Lulu said, "in case I get lost or something." Snow growled and ran up ahead. "Coming?" Rocky asked. Lulu nodded slowly and ran to catch up with her friends. Soft droplets of rain were beginning to intrude again. Lulu ran faster. Her stomach rumbled. "You're hungry too," Midnight said. "We're going to our favorite restaurant for lunch." Lulu purred happily. She often went to fancy restaurants with Lady Cordelia. Snow laughed. "I think Princess isn't used to our types of restaurants." Lulu frowned. What did Snow mean? Finally, they arrived at a tiny brown building that needed a lot of paint to cover the graffiti carvings on the wall. "Let's be fast before the rain gets heavy." Midnight motioned for them to move quickly and swiftly to the back of the building. Overflowing rubbish bins filled with maggots, oozing with flies and rotten food walled the gang. Lulu gagged. "Oh!" Rocky jumped on top of one of the bins and peered inside. He whistled. "Gang, there's lots to eat. Hold your places while I throw your food down." Half a piece of grey scaly fish with googly eyes landed near Lulu's paws. "Ooh!" Lulu shuddered. Lady Cordelia would never feed her something so putrid. She turned her face away and lifted her little nose in the air. The other cats devoured their food. Lulu's stomach growled. She was starving. Princess too scared to eat like us? Snow mocked. Rocky laughed. If you're gonna survive out here, you gotta eat like us. Go on, Midnight encouraged. It's good. You're a big scaredy cat, Snow taunted. Why did you run away if you want to live the same silly pampered life anyways? With that, she took a huge bite of her fish and dangled a piece in front of Lulu before slowly swallowing it. Lulu hissed at Snow. Then she closed her eyes and dug her teeth into the smelly, rotting fish. It was revolting. Well done, Lulu, Midnight praised. Lulu smiled triumphantly, but her joy vanished. Cats! A booming voice disrupted their feast. A large woman with an enormous stick chased them out. Shoo, get out of my bins! Dirty, filthy cats, go away! The stick slightly grazing Lulu's delicate tail. Ah! The cats ran wildly down the narrow streets. Lulu tried to keep up. She huffed and puffed. The rain was getting heavier. In the distance, she heard the sound of thunder rumbling. She quivered. She didn't like thunder. Lulu looked up at the sky. Heavy, furious clouds were gathering together, ready to burst open with force. It was going to pour any minute now. Let's hurry before the rain drowns us, Midnight commanded. Suddenly, Lulu heard something that paralyzed her heart. Dogs! The barking was getting closer and closer and closer, and then she spotted them. 2 massive black Rottweilers. Lulu stopped breathing and her body began to tremble. Teeth bare, mouth flapping, drool dripping, furious growling. They were ready to kill. Lulu, run! Midnight shouted as he darted past her. Come on, Lulu, run! She heard Rocky yell. Even Snow bolted down the street shouting, Come on, silly cat, snap out of it, you're gonna be killed! Lulu snapped out of her fear, and she saw the dogs getting closer. Lulu hissed and meowed, and speedily followed her friends. The dogs barked madly. She couldn't run as fast as the others, and she was falling behind. She could feel the breath of the dogs near her tail. Drool fell on her now wet, grimy fur. Lulu screamed, Gang, wait for me! But her new friends didn't turn back to help her. They were far ahead. Please help me! Lulu cried, meowing and hissing desperately. She tried to swat the dogs, but it was in vain. One of the dogs lunged towards her and tried to sink his teeth in her soft flesh. Lulu growled and spitted at the dogs. Suddenly, a roar of thunder reverberated around them, making the ground shake. Terrified, the dogs growled and scrambled to the other direction. The skies burst open and rain gushed down. Lulu ran, trying to find cover. She was shattered. She couldn't run anymore. She stopped for a quick breath. A car roared past, splashing mad all over her once beautiful white, shiny fur. Lulu yelped and scampered. She ran and ran. Under narrow tunnels she crept. Over run-down bridges she dashed. Into dark alleyways she sneaked. Her mind swirling and twirling with confusion. She looked to one side and to the other side. She was absolutely lost. Trembling, Lulu treaded into another dark alleyway, piled with bags of rubbish. In the distance, a dog barked. Like a lightning flash, Lulu bolted and hid behind the rubbish bags. She didn't care that they stunk. Afraid and extremely alone, Lulu started to sob. She was hungry, exhausted, thirsty, filthy, wet, cold, lost, and very alone. Her so-called friends hadn't even cared to rescue her. Lulu cried louder. Her heart really hurt. She wanted to sink into her soft, velvet, fluffy cushion and sleep the nightmare away. She wanted her cream and mint-colored mansion back. She wanted to slide down the translucent marble floors. She wanted to eat her delicious gourmet food from her porcelain floral dish. She wanted to be loved and spoiled by Lady Cordelia She wanted to go home, but she couldn't. She was lost. Exhaustion took over, and she curled up into a little ball and cried herself to sleep. Lulu woke up with a start. A girl with wild curly hair was stroking her gently. Poor little thing, she's lost. The guy with the leather jacket and the long beard leaned closer. Hey, she has one of those thingings around her neck. I bet the owner's details are on it. In minutes, they found the details on her pendant and dialed Lady Cordelia's number. Lulu almost fainted with joy. It wasn't long before a limousine pulled up along the alleyway. The chauffeur in black and white uniform got out of the limousine and opened the back door. Lady Cordelia, in her impeccable silk pajamas and fluffy white slippers, rushed out and dashed to Lulu. "Oh, my darling Lulu!" she cried, taking her in her arms. "I was so afraid. Oh, my darling, you are safe." Lady Cordelia kissed Lulu's filthy brown, smelly fur and stroked her gently. "I love you, Lulu," she whispered. "I'm so glad you have been found." Lulu purred softly and leaned into Lady Cordelia's heart. She was safe and sound. The end. Sometimes we can be like Lulu. Have you found yourself wanting more things? For example, you see a new toy and you suddenly don't like the toy you have anymore. You want that other toy, or that other game, or those other shoes, or that other dress. And you start wishing you had more things and other things. But we have to learn, and you have to learn, to be thankful for what God has given you. Because there are many kids around the world that don't have anything. There are children that don't have food, don't have toys, don't have homes, don't have beds, don't have anything nice. And yet, sometimes, girls, those children are happier than what you are. So you have to remember to thank Jesus all the time for everything He has given you, because you live in a beautiful home, a nice warm bed, you have nice food, you have toys, you have games, you have a great education. So be thankful for what God has given you. I want to encourage you to have a grateful heart, because God loves it when we're thankful and when we say thank you for the little things you give us. So let's not be Lulus. Let's learn to be grateful for God's blessings.
I absolutely love those stories. I can't wait to get my own cat.
Hey, look, Valentina, we're here!
Woohoo, we're here. We'll go pick my cat. Finally, I will finally get to meet Snowy.
Okay, girls, till next time. Bye.
Bye, girls!
Bye. Don't forget that you're Gigi, gorgeous in God's image.